We are smack bang in the middle of Suffolk. If you imagine Suffolk as a big wheel, we are in the hub. And that's the barns, where we are now. And then we've got our two barges, of course, which are over on the coast. Here they are, barns. Fish pond, all barn, Stour barn, Deben barn, Orwell barn, Gipping barn. There's your talk. We have a waterfall. Now, I did a video over in Italy. There's a waterfall near Casa Trebbio, and I did a science video. And I said it's called a waterfall because it's water and it falls. Science. This is Stour barn, and there's guests arriving later today. Here's the breakfast basket. There's a Mars bar that we've rebranded with our loyalty program. And there's the breakfast basket. Look, there's bread in there, and there's eggs, and there's cookies, and there's fruit, and there's local jam, local marmalade, local honey. I've worked in the industry for years and years and years. I used to work for a huge company many years ago when I was in my 20s. And then I had a little cottage in Kersey, and that was my kind of first step into it on my own, as it were. And I looked at it and thought, if I could multiply this and have a cottage industry, that's what I wanted to do. So I was looking around for years for this kind of property, and just to really recreate what I had done on a personal level with that little one cottage. I think the main reason I wanted to get into the industry was that I've seen it done so badly elsewhere. One of the things in many industries is that customer service is done badly, it's done lackluster, it's done without any effort whatsoever. And I knew that I could renovate properties and then also do customer service properly. I think in terms of style, the buildings, I think what I do to them is create what you would expect them to look like. So this is a 300-year-old barn that we're in here, and what I've not done is created massive surprises. So it's just making it feel homely, rustic, and kind of charming, and just kind of giving people what they would expect, so that we haven't got zebra print sofas and things like that in there. So it's perhaps just what one would expect in this type of property. In terms of the history of the place, I'll be honest, I know very little. I could make some stuff up, I suppose. Johnny Depp used to live in here. No, I seriously know very little. I've tried to find stuff out. I know that Woodfarm House is over 500 years old. It's a listed building. This is the granary barn. This is over 300 years old. I do know that it wasn't originally on this spot because the council made me jump through lots and lots of hoops, and I found an old map from, I think, 1843, and the barn wasn't here, but it is a 300-year-old barn. So that fascinates me in itself, because it obviously was somewhere and it's been moved to here. But in terms of the history, I know very little. One of the things that was really interesting upstairs, when we took the plasterwork down, we found lots of writing on the walls, on the walls themselves, and worked out that they were inventories of bushels of grain, because this is an old granary barn, and they were kind of like, I suppose, like 150-year-old spreadsheets on there where people had literally written stuff. There was also some poetry as well, which is so faded and so old, just couldn't work it out. But it was very poetic verse, but just bits and pieces of it. In terms of the process of creating Woodfarm as it is today, I think, as I said, I came and looked at it with a friend of mine. There was just a meadow over there where the other barns are. This was literally falling into the ground. It was about to fall down, and then Woodfarm House across the way there was pretty dilapidated. It had actually been empty for a number of years and was kind of pretty run down. So what I did was bought it, spent about a year renovating Woodfarm House while I was living in it myself, renovated that, then got that rented out and started on this one. This took about 10 months to renovate, and it was just predominantly myself and a local builder, and we got this one up and running, and then I started on the other barns over there. And it was quite interesting because in the early days what I would do is we were renting out Woodfarm House and people would be staying in there, and I would come over here and do things on the granary as quietly as I could until they left. And then as soon as people left, I would then go and change into some clean old clothes, do the cleaning. Then I would change back into my builder's clothes, come back over here. We'd do all the noisy jobs that we had to do before then the next guests were arriving. I used to say to people, ring me half an hour before you arrive. And so I could then go over, change into clean, smartish clothes, meet the guests, then change back into builder's clothes and come and do the kind of the less noisy jobs, and that's kind of how we worked it for about a year, doing what we could around, and we would watch for guests going out for the day, and then we would do all our noisy jobs then, and touch wood, it worked. Then when we'd done the granary and got the granary up and running, we put a fence up over there where the fish pond now is, and then we did all of that over there. We built Old Barn, Deben Barn and Stour Barn first of all, got those as close as we could to being ready. Then we built the shells of Gipping and Orwell Barn, and we accessed those from the back whilst we were renting out obviously Old, Deben and Stour Barns, because I was trying to get rental income whilst we were finishing the whole site off. And then in 2017 I bought a couple of Dutch barges because life wasn't interesting enough. I was a boaty person. I had my own boat at the time, and I'll be honest, I went and stayed on Ondernaming, rented it for a weekend, and just thought, this is really cool. And I got in touch with the owner and said, do you want to sell it? And as luck would have it, he said yes. So I bought Ondernaming, and at the same time somebody then, because my own boat was in Woodbridge, and somebody said, oh, you do know that boat there is for sale, Tweaker Brothers. And so I bought them both at the same time, within a fortnight of each other. I just figured, because I love boats, that would be the natural way, and I couldn't build more barns here, so that would be the way forward. So 2017 Woodfarm Barges was born. Then I decided, why not go to Italy? So we did that bit as well, but that was really because I wanted a house in Italy. It was only 2018 that I decided, in fact, how that came about was I hadn't had a holiday for 11 years because I'd been planning the business, setting it up, getting everything done. And I'd had no more than a couple of days off in about 11 years. And I told myself that in 2018, I will have a holiday every month for a year. But what I meant by that was I would have a minimum of a couple of days away somewhere, just having a bit of a break. Kept going over to Tuscany because I always did that anyway, loved it, and then thought I could buy a house because there are some cheap houses over here. And lo and behold, almost by the end of 2018, beginning of 2019, I had a house in Tuscany. Then along came a pandemic and stopped it all, but you know. One of the things that I think is really important is consistency. So every week, I won't say every day, but every week, we're doing maintenance jobs. We're always touching things up. We're always doing things or replacing things. And I spent £800 on towels this week because I wanted to change them and get rid of a load and then bring some new ones in. So it is that consistency. It's about being prepared to spend the money to keep things kind of top notch. And when I walk around here, Like sometimes if I see a little bit of rubbish on the floor, I'll pick it up, because to my mind, if I don't pick that up, and I do this in my head, if I don't pick that up, it means I don't care. And the day I don't care is the day I think it would start going downhill. And so I pick up every bit of rubbish, and if there's a maintenance job that needs doing, I just make sure it gets done as quickly as possible. So it's about consistency and about just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. One other thing that perhaps we haven't touched on is the fact that this face is always on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all the rest of it, and it's because I took a conscious decision to make it a personal brand, and because I always have this thing of people like to feel that they know the owners. And so if you go in a pub and the owners of the pub say, "Hello, how are you?" I just, there's that nice warm fuzzy feeling that you belong somewhere. And I think just how I am naturally was how I started the business, and it just evolved that way. And what I didn't want to do was make it all about me and what have you. But then it just sort of evolved that way. So I ended up, and nobody else wants to do YouTube videos and put their silly face on Facebook and stuff like that. So, but I think for me, it's important. It's a small business. So I think you're able to make it a personal brand because it's a small business.
This
Pond.
Where the pond is now.
This is the pond. Pond with fish. What do you call a fish with no eyes? Fish. These are plums. Plum. Really nice. I think they're called Mirabelle plums.
Are they actually like right?
Yeah, help yourself.
They're so small.
Well, wait a bit, then they'll get bigger. They're really nice. And as you walk around here, it just smells of plums. I thought of another proud moment. It's the website. We have spent 1 billion hours on the website, and I think probably more than most. I work on the website almost daily, if not daily, every couple of days. And one of the things in the early days, I thought I need to write blog posts about Suffolk to tell people, because I didn't want to just go, "There's your holiday cottage, goodbye, see you Friday when you leave." And I started writing blog posts about dog walks, places to go, beaches, pubs, restaurants, everything. And it's just expanded and expanded. And there are a couple of us involved in writing posts, but we recently hit over 1,000 blog posts, which is literally more than anybody. I have challenged people to find more. We've got more than Airbnb and Booking.com in terms of human written content. And the point about that is we've got a website which is a powerful resource which has got all of this information on, so it allows people to come on holiday and just tap into everything. And then also this year I developed an app so that we've got links to out and about in Suffolk. I call it Suffolk in your pocket, and it's literally a guide to all of the best places to go, all the best things to do, and it accesses all of that information. It's completely free, and yes, of course, it's got our properties on there, because why wouldn't I use an opportunity to sell? But so I think the tech side of what we do with the website and with the app and things like our magazines that we produce as well. We've got a dog-friendly guide to Suffolk. We've got a brochure come magazine that we called Woodfarm Life that we leave in the barns and the barges. And I suppose it's about giving people as much as we can possibly give them. So if you look at woodfarmbarns.com/app, it's there. And yeah, it's really cool. And I was going to call it Woodfarm Barns and Barges app, and then I thought, well, the main function is that it's a guide to Suffolk, so I called it Suffolk in your pocket.
Cool.
I'd have to unbutton my pocket first. This could be an Amazon delivery. It's very exciting. No, it's guests at the farmhouse. That's not as exciting as an Amazon delivery. Sometimes Amazon come and it's like Christmas, because I order so much off Amazon. I have no idea what's coming. There is a package open. Should we go and see what's in it? my name and address on it. Wow.
You got?
Organic toothpaste.
Cool. Now, why organic toothpaste over traditional toothpaste?
Because I don't have any plastics in my grooming routine. Hair products, skin products, toothpaste, all plastic free, because I don't want to be made of plastic.
What's the tube made of?
Plastic.